jersey was exactly that kind of night, one that Brazil and its 200 million football-obsessed supporters will carry with them for years. Norway beat Brazil 2-1 in the round of 16, and just like that, the dream of a sixth World Cup title was over. Erling Haaland had done the unthinkable, and somewhere on that pitch, Neymar Jr. was crying. Let's go back to the beginning of the match, because the emotion at the end only makes sense when you understand what was at stake going into it. Brazil had come into this tournament as one of the genuine favorites, built around a squad with extraordinary depth under Carlo Ancelotti, the most decorated club manager in Champions League history, now finally guiding a national team. Vinicius Jr. had been electrifying through the group stage. Matheus Cunha had been clinical. And Neymar, the most naturally gifted Brazilian of his generation, had returned to the national team for what is almost certainly his last World Cup appearance, carrying 33 years of life and a body that has been through more serious surgeries than most footballers endure in an entire career. He came back for this. He came back for one final shot at the trophy that has defined and escaped him throughout his career. Norway, meanwhile, were not here by accident. They had topped their group and beaten Ivory Coast in the round of 32, carried by a Haaland who already had 5 goals to his name heading into this match. A Norwegian squad built around Premier League and European football's biggest names had been building toward exactly this kind of moment for years, and on this particular Sunday afternoon they delivered the most significant result in their football history. The match itself was a tense, physically demanding contest played under brutal summer heat. Brazil created chances but found Norway's goalkeeper Erling Haaland in inspired form. Bruno Guimaraes was handed the opportunity to put Brazil ahead from the penalty spot in the first half, only for Haaland to produce a match-defining save that, in hindsight, changed everything. Norway stayed organized, stayed disciplined, and waited for their moment. It arrived in the 79th minute when Haaland rose to meet a cross with a precise, powerful header that gave Alisson no chance whatsoever. The Norwegian striker's celebration was ferocious, arms wide, face to the sky, the weight of an entire nation's football history releasing in a single roar. The stadium was split right down the middle between disbelief and euphoria. Then, in the 90th minute, Haaland killed the game with his second goal of the evening, cutting inside and drilling a low finish from the top of the box past Alisson's outstretched hand to make it 2-0. It was a goal of complete individual quality and total ruthlessness, his 6th and 7th of the tournament, tying him with Messi and Mbappe at the top of the Golden Boot race. Brazil were finished. Neymar stepped up from the penalty spot and added time to score a consolation, his first goal of this World Cup, converting with the kind of natural technique that reminds you of everything this player can still do when his body allows. But by that point the match was over, and what followed the final whistle was genuinely heartbreaking to watch. Cameras caught Neymar standing alone near the center circle, head down, one hand covering his eyes. He didn't move for what felt like a long time. Around him, teammates consoled each other, some sitting on the turf, others embracing the coaching staff. Vinicius Jr., who had given everything across this tournament, crouched down on his knees and buried his face in his hands. The yellow shirts that had danced across every screen for 4 weeks were suddenly still. This marks Brazil's earliest World Cup exit since 1990, 36 years ago, and extends a painful pattern that has now lasted across 6 consecutive tournaments. The 5-time champions have not won the World Cup since 2002, and each new exit reopens a wound that never fully heals for a football nation of this size and this pride. For Neymar specifically, this moment carries a weight that no scoreline can fully capture. He gave everything to be here. He came back from injury, fought his way back into the squad, and stood on that pitch in New Jersey chasing the one trophy that would complete a career already decorated with individual brilliance and devastating near misses. The tears were real, and every Brazilian watching from home understood them instantly. Football does this. It builds you up, gives you everything, and then takes it away without warning. Brazil will be back in 4 years. But for this generation, and especially for Neymar, this was the chance. And it is gone.